The next proverb is possession is nine tenths of law. It means that even though complete legal right to a thing has not been recognized or established, she or he who is in possession of it has a far greater right to it as compared to everybody else. So, if your car is searched and contraband, which means goods that have been imported or exported illegally, happens to be found and it's under the driver's seat and it's your car and nobody else was in it and nobody else uses it, well, it's pretty likely that the contraband belongs to you. On the contrary, if the contraband was under the passenger seat and your cousin and his friends have been borrowing your car for the last 2 weeks and you're not known to ever have had possession of this kind of contraband, but your cousin definitely has, so therefore the contraband potentially was not yours, but your cousin's or someone known to your cousin. And a lawyer would use those factors to fight a charge of possession in that case. The shirt or jacket you are currently wearing is presumed to be yours unless someone can prove that it is not. So it's to simplify this particular proverb, I've used this line. The shirt or jacket you are currently wearing is presumed to be yours because you are wearing it, right? Unless someone can prove that it's not. If it's 90% likely something belongs to you, it probably belongs to you. It's not that it's an exact figure, 90% कोई एकदम check नहीं करेगा, or that it could actually be measured. It just means that if the greater amount of evidence goes to something being yours, it's going to be judged to be yours almost every time. Now, the usage is many lawyers would agree to the proverb possession is nine tenths of the law. Next proverb is every law has its loophole, which means there's always a way to work around the restrictions imposed by rules. Example, a good or experienced lawyer can always find a loophole. We all know, we've seen so many movies, and in almost every movie that has a court scene or which shows some problem which requires the court or the lawyer or some intervention of the court in any manner, then this dialogue always emerges in, especially in Bollywood movies. Next, lawmakers should not be lawbreakers. Anticipation is the enemy of pleasure. The proverb, which has been used by Robert Lind, he was an Irish writer, editor of poetry, urbane literary essayist, and strong Irish nationalist. He said in this statement that if we expect to anticipate anything great, magnificent, or splendid, we may have to get disappointed when we actually see the reality. For example, when an elected official beat up an elderly helicopter staff, hitting him repeatedly with a saddle, breaking his spectacles, and tearing his clothes as he felt insulted because though he had a business class ticket, he was given an economy class seat on a Delhi Bangalore flight. Lawmakers should not be lawbreakers. Now, here it should have been an aeroplane. Please excuse me again for somehow typing helicopter here. Please read it as an aeroplane. Next proverb is laws catch flies and let hornets go free, which means laws grab hold of the small time criminals like the petty thief, pickpocket, but are not helpful in catching the big time criminals such as drug lords, fraud companies, conmen, or serial killers. For example, the thief who stole 300 rupees is hung, while the one who stole 500,000 rupees praised, right? We know so many examples are there across the world, not only in India, but you talk of any country, and you'll come across people who happen to be big shots, who happen to be big business tycoons, and have done scam, have been involved in so many illegal things, but still they succeed in flying away. They succeed in somehow uh, not getting caught by the police. Whereas these petty thief uh, or these pickpockets, they tend to be caught and they are at times even punished, penalized, imprisoned. But then it becomes really difficult to catch hold of the big time criminals, which is again a very sad state of affairs. Now, there's a relevant quote by Jonathan Swift: "Laws are like cobwebs which may catch small flies but let wasps and hornets break through." It was very apt indeed. This saying is very apt. Next proverb is: "The law sometimes sleeps but never dies." So there are certain laws which tend to become old with time or become outdated with time, but they still find a place in the law books and acts. For example, telegrams are no more used, but then there must be laws on telegrams, etc. Example, the adage, "The law sometimes sleeps but never dies," proves to be true many a times. Next, one law for the rich and another for the poor. The richest members of society have much greater scope to twist or break the rules of law, while the have-nots, which is the poor or the underprivileged lot, have to pay the cost of any wrongdoing. Example, today's verdict will expectantly help put away or at least fight the belief of there being one law for the rich and another law for the poor. तो अगर आप निर्धन हैं तो आपके लिए एक संविधान है, एक तरह का लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है. अगर आप धनी हैं तो आपके पास अपने ही कुछ प्रिविलेजेस हो जाते हैं. ऐसा माना जाता है सोसाइटी में, ऐसा माना जाता है, ऐसा देखा गया है कि कुछ चीज़ें अपने आप वो आपके फेवर में हो जाती हैं या आपके अगेंस्ट में हो जाती हैं, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर फिनेंशियल बैकग्राउंड, जो होना नहीं चाहिए. ऑफ कोर्स ना ही कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इसलिए बना था, ना ही लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इसलिए बनते हैं कि वो किसी के किन्हीं दो वर्गों के बीच में भेदभाव करें. पर हम जो ह्यूमन बींग्स हैं ना, हम वी टेंड टू फाइंड द लूप होल समहाउ, कि हम कैसे उसको लॉ को अपने हिसाब से ट्विस्ट करके उसमें से अपने फ़ायदे की चीज़ निकाल लें, अपने लाभ की चीज़ निकाल लें, और जिसको सामने वाला अगर हमसे वेल ऑफ नहीं है, अफ्लुएंट क्लास से नहीं है, तो हम उसको ओवर पार करके उसको फंसा के हम छूट जाएं, हम स्वतंत्र हो जाएं. तो बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जो आपको भी पता है, मुझे भी पता है, और यही जो वाइज ऑब्जर्वेशंस थे, जो हमारे ये वाइज मैन थे, एंसेस्टर्स थे, एल्डरली पीपल थे, इन्होंने इन्हीं सारी चीज़ों को इन प्रोवर्ब्स और सेइंग्स के माध्यम से रिकॉर्ड कर दिया है, और आज हम इन्हीं को पढ़ रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट प्रोवर्ब इज: "Necessity knows no law except to conquer," meaning being distressed, worried, and having no means may lead you to do unlawful things. Example, she was dealing in illegal drugs in order to feed her 6 children. Necessity knows no law. एक माँ के लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है? एक माँ के लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि उसके बच्चे भूखे ना रहें. उसके बच्चे, मैं बहुत बेसिक बातें बता रही हूँ, बच्चे भूखे ना रहें, बच्चों की जो भी बेसिक नीड्स हैं वो फुलफ़िल होती रहें. छोटे बच्चों की बात हो रही है, बड़े बच्चों की बात नहीं हो रही यहाँ पर ऑफ कोर्स. और उन छोटे 6 बच्चों के लिए अगर एक माँ की बात करें जो किन्हीं कारणोंवश, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू एन एजम्पशन, एक ऐसे छोटा सा अज्यूम किया जा रहा है सिनारियो जहाँ पे माँ है और माँ में भी किसी छोटे से गांव से है और उसके घर में कोई भी नहीं है जो कि उसको हेल्प करे, और वो अकेले ही, पिता भी बाहर है या पिता कहीं किसी मुसीबत में फंसे हैं या बीमार हैं, जो भी है, जैसे मतलब उनके घर की हालत बहुत अच्छी नहीं है, और उसमें अगर उसको कुछ भी इलीगल करना पड़ रहा है तो वो अपने आप को बचाने के लिए वो ये कह सकती है कि क्योंकि ये मेरे लिए आवश्यक है और मुझे अपनी आवश्यकताओं की पूर्ति करनी है, अपने बच्चों की आवश्यकताओं की पूर्ति करनी है, अपने परिवार की आवश्यकताओं की पूर्ति करनी है, तो मुझे नहीं पता कि ये इलीगल ड्रग्स है या लीगल है ड्रग्स का व्यापार करना, क्योंकि मुझे बस इतना पता है कि मेरे 6 बच्चे जो मेरे पास हैं, मेरे अपने हैं, और मेरे घर में जो भी और लोग हैं, उन सबको उनका भोजन नित्य रूप से मिलता है। मुझे मिले ना मिले अलग बात है. So I'm not trying to defend her or defend this act, but what I'm trying to explain is, dear friends, that one needs to understand that when you are distressed, when you are disappointed, when you are worried, when you are anxious, when you do not see any way out to a problem, it is generally then that people with good morale otherwise tend to go wayward, tend to go wrong, because they do not find a better way out. कई बार हमें हमारे पास वो साधन नहीं होते जिससे हम ये समझ सकें कि क्या सही है, क्या गलत है, क्या उचित है, क्या अनुचित है, क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि हमारी जो अभी की आवश्यकता है वो पूरी हो जाए. अगर वो पूरी नहीं हो पाएगी तो हमें हमारे लिए संसार में कुछ भी नहीं है. सो ये एक उस पर्टिकुलर सिनारियो को मैंने यहाँ पर समझाने की, उसकी व्याख्या देने की एक छोटी सी कोशिश की है, प्रयास किया है. आई होप यू आर टेन टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट नेसेसिटी नोज नो लॉ एक्सेप्ट टू कॉन्कर. बस उनको जीतना है, उनको अपने बच्चों को फीड करना है. उन ऐसी माताओं का या ऐसे घरों में, ऐसे घरों के लोगों का यही मत होता है शायद. Then from bad manners or morals have sprung good laws, which means the law of God was given in order to contain the recklessness of immoral people, because they who religiously abide by the law do not require the authoritative ruling of the law. If I'm morally correct, if I'm just, if I have a judicious blend of mind and heart, I will be able to always make and take the right decision only, irrespective of my circumstances, irrespective of the people who are going to influence my decision, because I won't be influenced at all. I'm going to take a just decision. I'm going to be justified in each and every manner. Example, it's correct to say from bad manners have sprung good laws. For example, ये एक illustration है छोटा सा कि unnecessarily हम fight करते हैं, हम अपने फिजिकल पार्ट दूसरे के ऊपर एक्सर्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, और वही इस एग्जाम्पल में दिया गया. इट्स करेक्ट टू से जब हमारे बैड मैनर्स आते हैं उभर के सामने, तभी उनको कंट्रोल करने के लिए हमें बेटर, स्ट्रिक्टर लॉज चाहिए होते हैं. तो प्रॉब्ली यही एक इलस्ट्रेशन उसको दिखा पा रहा था. सो नाउ लेट्स कंक्लूड. एट लास्ट आई वुड कंक्लूड बाय सेइंग that proverbs and sayings are interesting, engaging, and involve a lot of wisdom of our ancestors, which they very kindly documented or left for us. Any conversation can be made an effective one by making use of an appropriate proverb at an appropriate time. Any conversation, speech could be easily spiced up through the usage of proverbs. A proverb thus tends to become one of the important tools for discourse or conversation, communication or speech.